compound interest word problems. Now what compound interest is, like, let's say you put $100 in a savings account, and in a year, and you're earning like 10%. Well, that means that in a year, you have earned $10. So after a year, you have $110 in your savings account. But if it's compounded, if the interest is compounded, then the next year, you are going to earn 10% from your $110, which is $11. So the first year you earned $10, and the second year you've earned $11, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because your interest is going along with that. Now, that has nothing to, I mean, those numbers right there has nothing to do with this problem, but that's what compound interest is. All right, so Isaiah put $700 into an account to use for school expenses. The account earns 8% interest compounded annually. How much will be in the account after 5 years? Use the formula A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the N times T, where A is the balance, is the final amount. P is what you start off with, which is called the principal. R is the interest rate, and you put it in a decimal. N is the number of times per year that the interest is compounded, and T is the time in years, or how many years that you have. Round your answer to the nearest cent, because we're talking about money, right? All right, so we have A equals P, 1 plus R over N to the NT. So we want to know how much will be in there after 5 years. So we do not know what A is. P is how much we start off with, which is 700. That's the principal. 1 plus. The rate is 8%. The decimal for 8% is 0.08. So we're going to do 0.08 over N. N is the number of times per year. And this is compounded annually, so it's just 1. And N is 1 again. And how many years? We have 5. So if you put that in the calculator, which you definitely can, let's see, 700 parentheses 1 plus fraction 0.808 over 1, close your parentheses, house top 1 times 5 is 5, equals, in 5 years, he's going to have $1,028.53 in his account. Oops, wrong one. Okay. Kylie opened a savings account and deposited $200. The account earns 12% interest compounded monthly. So it starts with $200, compounded monthly, 12%. She wants the money to buy a new bicycle in 2 years. How much will she be able to spend on the bike? A equals P 1 plus R over N to the NT. We don't know how much she's going to have at the end. That's what we're looking for. She's starting off with 200. 1 plus the 12% is 0.12. Compounded monthly. So there's 12 months in a year, so the N is going to be 12. And we have 2 years. We're going to put that in the calculator. 200 parentheses 1 plus fraction 0.12 over 12. Close your parentheses to the, and 12 times 2 is 24. So she's going to have $253.95 to spend on a bike in 2 years. Janet opened a savings account 9 years ago. The account earns 6% interest compounded monthly. If the current balance is $800, how much did she deposit initially? A equals P, 1 plus R over N to the N T. Now, $800 is what she has now. We do not know what she started off with. 1 plus 6% is 0.06. Compounded monthly, so our N is 12. Our N is 12, and it was 9 years ago. This one we're going to have to do a little bit more work on. We're going to keep the 800 right here. And I am going to put this in the calculator. Parentheses 1 plus 0.06 fraction 12, close your parentheses, to the 12 times 9. 1.7. I'm just putting this number, writing it down, but I'm not rounding it, okay? Now, because if you round now and then you have to round later, rounding a rounded number is going to get a different rounded number probably than what you started off with. So, this is what would we do? We would divide, right? But I'm not really dividing by 1.713. I'm going to keep that answer in the calculator, and what the keystrokes I'm going to do is 800 divided by second, and then the negative sign, because above the negative sign it says A and S, and what that does, what this does, it puts this answer in for that, okay? So 800 divided by second, negative sign, equals, and we get, she put 466.83 in the account 9 years ago, earning 6% interest compounded monthly, and she has $800 now, 9 years later. Albert opened a savings account and deposited $5,000. The account earns 13%, so 1 plus 0.13. Compounded quarterly. Quarterly means it's 4 times a year. How much interest will you earn after 6 years? All right, so 6 years, and we're going to find A. 5,000, parentheses, 1 plus fraction 0.13 over 4, close the parentheses, to the 24. Okay, what does A stand for? A stands for how much money is in the account after 6 years. The question is, how much interest has he earned on the 5,000? So if you started off with 5,000 and now you have 10,700, we would subtract 5,000, and he has earned $5,772.87 in interest. 2 years ago, Gordon won some money in the lottery and put it in a bank account that pays 12% interest. He currently has $800 in the account. And 1 plus 0.12, compounded monthly, so our N is 12. And it was 2 years ago, so our T is 2. How much interest has he earned? So on this one, the only thing that they didn't give us is how much he put in. We know now that he has 800. So if I can find out how much he put in, and I know that now he has 800, we're going to subtract those to be able to figure out how much his interest was. So again, I'm going to put this in the calculator. 1.269. Again, do not round. We're going to put this in the calculator. So 800 divided by second negative sign equals, so P stands for how much you put in to begin with, 630.05. This is what he started off with. This is what he started off with. This is what he has now. So to figure out how much interest, 800 minus 630.05. He has earned $169.95 in 2 years. Madeline is saving up to buy a car that costs $19,445. Madeline puts $6,349 into account and earns 12% interest compounded quarterly. How long will it take before she will have enough money in the account to buy the car? Okay, so we're looking for T, we're looking for time. So she needs 19,445. She has 6,349. The rate is 0.12. Compounded quarterly would be 4, and then 4, and then T is time in years. Okay, you're going to have to go along with me on this. So the T is with this term right here. So the first thing we're going to do is divide by 6,349. 19,445 divided by 6,349 is 3.06 something. We're not going to round. We're going to keep this in the calculator. Okay. And if we have to, we'll get it back in just a minute. All right. Then the 1.1 plus 0.12 over 4 is 3.09 something to the 4t. Because t is in the exponent, we are going to natural log both of these sides. Once you do that, the 4t can come to the front. And we're going to divide by natural log 3.09. Okay. All right. I'm going to just go back and put a few more numbers in the, that's 687 was that one. And this is 2687. Okay. And I'm actually just going to put that in the calculator. So natural log 3.062687 helps if it actually works. Natural log 3.062687 over natural log 3.092687 equals 0.99. Okay, I paused for just a second. This wasn't coming out right, and I know I did something wrong, but I'm about to run out of time. So go on to the next video, and I will fix it.